All righty, so it is 6 o'clock. I'm calling our meeting to order. Neil, will you lead us in the pledge of allegiance?
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's have a real flag.
Yeah, and real people.
Yes.
Okay. I want to welcome the board to our first regular meeting since COVID quarantine kind of put an end to it. And also we can no longer do Zoom meetings, at least for the board. So it has to be in person. But regardless, I'm glad that we're still able to keep Zoom going. And we have first order of business is to approve meeting minutes. First meeting is our May 24th work session meeting minutes. Has everyone had a chance to review, and is there a motion?
I make a motion to approve the May 24th meeting, work session meeting.
Second?
Ted moves, Mary Ann seconds. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Second set of minutes is the May 24th regular meeting minutes. Is there a motion?
I make a motion, we accept the meeting minutes from May 24th.
Mary Ann moves. Is there a second?
Second.
Neil seconds. Any discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, nay. Ayes have it. And the third meeting minutes are our May 24th non-public meeting minutes. Is there a motion?
Make a motion to approve the May 24th non-public meeting minutes.
Ted moves. Is there a second?
Second.
Zach seconds. All those in favor? Any discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Announcements. The select board will meet on the following dates. We'll have regular meetings at 6 p.m. At Monday, June 28th, 2021. Also July 12th, 2021, and July 26th, 2021. Work sessions prior to the regular meeting will start at 5 p.m. And all of the above meetings will be held via Zoom. In addition, when is reopening? Reopening is
Tomorrow.
tomorrow. So all the meetings will also be held at Zoom and also at Town Hall. And for more information, check out the town's website at plymouth-nh.org. Citizens wishing to be listed on the Select Board's agenda should notify the Town Hall before 12 noon, the Friday before the scheduled meeting. We now have a plaque presentation to Patrice Scott for her years of service on the Zoning Board of Adjustment. And I want to read it. It's presented to Patrice Scott in appreciation and recognition of 10 years of dedicated service to the town of Plymouth while serving on the Zoning Board of Adjustment. Term served 2011 to 2021. Presented by the Board of Selectmen, William Bolton, Mary Ann Barnsley, Zachary Terrell, Neil McIver, and Ted Wisniewski.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Really appreciate that. And I appreciate your service, everyone. It's good with me. I just didn't want to freak anyone out. But welcome back. It's great to see you all here.
It's good to be back.
I didn't know if I was supposed to Zoom in to receive it or get it in person, but
Happy to have you here.
Do you want to get a picture too?
Yeah, that would be good.
Posterity?
that was.
With all the board or just the chair?
All aboard.
Yeah, we can all.
All the board.
And I hope you get some good volunteers to come in and serve as alternates in the future.
Or maybe if we just
close.
there, yeah.
Maybe you should hand it.
Yeah,
There you go, Bill. You should hand it to her.
Yeah, Bill.
Come on.
Be in the back.
Yeah,
Good
yeah.
together.
Okay.
We're new to
You're
this.
back up.
It's been a while.
It's better to line up here.
I can get more stage live performances again.
You had me with black backdrop.
Did we get everybody?
Yes. picked 12 of them, so I'm sure. Keep smiling. Okay. I think
I
we're
wasn't
good.
smiling on that one, no.
Thanks.
Congratulations.
And good luck. I mean, I'm sorry I have to run. I have a family that's leaving town. So.
Well, thank you for coming.
You're welcome.
Probably the quickest item on the agenda.
So I think, Emily, are you prepared to speak to Sam Sargent's veterans request?
I have something I need to say, yeah. Sam's in the hospital at Dartmouth Hitchcock. He went over, he wasn't feeling well, and they put him right on the operating table and did a 4-way bypass.
Oh, gee, wow.
So he's going to be down, and I didn't know whether we should, wait on this or not.
I think it's just him writing his concerns, because the veterans credit was taken care of. He is receiving it. He was looking for a reimbursement of attorney fees, but
Yeah. Could we discuss that? So let's discuss this item, okay?
Okay.
Has everyone had a chance to review the material? And it goes back to 2013. And there does seem to have been maybe miscommunication or misunderstanding on the part of our employees. And it took him a while to determine that he was due the interest. And also the attorney fee. I think that's up for discussion, but it just seemed kind of, probably he was frustrated. Obviously, the attorney helped determine that he was due his full veterans benefit, and it seemed like we needed for him to pursue a legal opinion. And I'm almost thinking that we're due the need to cover the cost of the attorney. And opening it up for discussion if...
Seems like we caused the delay. Kind of back and forth all over the place. That mean it took 8 years to resolve this?
no.
It was kind of resolved, but then it still was kind of misinterpreted, and actually our attorney came in and said, well, because then we were talking about just doing like a 1/3 benefit, or he owes 2/3 of the house. And there was diminution, I guess, of the benefit, and our attorney just waited and said, no, he gets the benefit. So it took a lot to finally nail down exactly what he was due. But I think now that it's clarified, and his perceived need to go to an attorney to basically settle it, I think we kind of owe him that. And Emily, do you have any comments, or?
My only comment would be that he never contacted the this time around. So the letter was sent out to him before the first tax bill of 2021 had gone out. He received the entire veterans credit for 2020, and it was resolved before the first tax bill went out. So he never lost any portion of his tax credit. I would have appreciated if he had called the town to discuss it with me before contacting his attorney. And I can understand that he did have some previous frustrations going back to 2013. So I do appreciate that. But, I have not ever had a conversation with Mr. Sargent, and I'm sorry to hear about his medical issues currently. But I think it could have been resolved without an attorney if he had given the town a chance. But I do understand that there's some background there that maybe made it daunting to try and contact the town.
Attorney fees are?
$750.
Okay.
Yeah, he's got that itemized.
Yeah, the last 3 pages. I think I'm okay with the whole thing, but if we agree to pay those, we may want to make it clear that in the future, he should, work with the town first before going to an attorney, just so that this doesn't become a pattern or something where attorney's fees every time there's some
You don't
confusion.
want to set precedent.
Yeah. Okay.
Can I just chime in for a quick second? If Mr. Sargent had brought this issue to the Board of Tax and Land Appeals or Superior Court after the second tax bill, which would be his right, typically the town wouldn't pay attorney's fees in those instances where, we were acting on behalf of the town in the best way that we saw fit. Of course, I'm not an attorney and no one at the town is an attorney. And the town's attorney did agree that he was due his full veterans credit. But if this were to go to the Board of Tax and Land Appeals, the town was acting prudently to the best of their knowledge, and they typically don't award attorney's fees for something like that.
Okay, I'm just looking at his history though of I received a letter from the assessor's office early March notifying me that the veterans tax credit that I received out of the property had been adjusted. Instead of the full tax credit, I would receive 1/3 of the credit. It upset me and I put the letter in, I don't want to deal with this file for a couple of weeks. I mean, I can see that, he
Frustration.
was frustrated and he felt that was his out, just to have a bigger voice to fight what he sees was like an injustice. So
I've always found him to be a very reasonable man. He was a school teacher for many years.
that's what he indicated in his as well. Yeah. So is there a motion, or do we want to deal with it now? And if so, is there a
I
motion
move that we reimburse him.
for the attorney fee? Okay. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, Neil moves, Mary Ann seconds. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Ayes have it. Thanks for being here, Emily.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And I wish him luck. Scott, we have an emergency
No,
management.
it's actually, it's
Emily?
Emily, I'm sorry. Yeah, public hearing at 6:15.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay.
It's just shy of 6:50.
Just says,
It'll take me a minute to
We've got
find
30
whatever-
seconds.
Sign your paper.
Yeah, what am I supposed to say?
What can we do in 30 seconds?
open the public hearing regarding discretionary preservation easement application.
Is there a statement someplace?
No.
Oh. Is this like an old thing or something? Or what? Oh, never mind, sorry. All right. I'm opening a public hearing. It is 6:15? It is. 6:15, I'm opening a public hearing to consider, now, this is the John Dockery.
It's for John Dockery, 188 Highland Street.
Yeah, to consider the request for easement for historical, what the heck is it? Falling down the- Discretionary preservation easement on 188 Highland Street in Plymouth. Does anyone wish to comment, either in the affirmative or a negative, regarding this request for an easement?
Maybe Emily can give a little explanation.
Emily, can you provide an explanation?
I would be happy to. I did
Great.
notify the owner that this meeting was taking place and that that he could find the Zoom link because he doesn't live here full time, I don't believe. But I don't see him on Zoom, and I'm not sure if he's in the audience, but he submitted an application for an easement over the portion of his property that hosts two historical barns that are in need of some repair. So the preservation easement is up to 10 years, and it would reduce the assessed value of the barns up to 75% of the current assessed value. I went out to look at the barns. He is stating in his application that they are part of the public benefit. So it is on Highland Street. They are viewed by most everyone in Plymouth, at least on a weekly basis. And the attached barn is quite beautiful. The front of it is well maintained, but it certainly has some structural issues that this would hopefully be able to allow him to fix for that. The secondary barn is in the rear of the property, not as well seen. So I'm not sure exactly if they have the same public benefit for each of those barns. But the board has the discretion to grant relief from 25% all the way to 75%. And one of those considerations would be how much benefit a taxpayer would receive and what that loss in revenue would be. So if you'd like some quick math, if you were to grant all the way up to 75% off of his assessed value for those two barns, it would reduce his assessment by $10,500. And at the current tax rate would be about $300 per year. So it's not a huge break. There's not a ton of value already placed in these, but it would potentially allow him to be able to put some work into it. The other thing is if he changed the use of those barns, or if he subdivided them off for development, the town would be able to recover that money for the number of years that he received the benefit.
Okay. And yeah, I noticed that he indicated that there was like 17,000 people that go by.
I believe he got that from the traffic count of Highland Street.
Hey, so what does the easement do for, I mean, can all the 17,000 stop and say, I'd like to take a look at the barn if it becomes like an easement, or there's no public access, right?
No public access. It's for the public benefit of preserving the history of New Hampshire. Barns have been a notable thing in New Hampshire's history, and the purpose of it is to be able to maintain as many historical barns and not let them get any worse for wear. The purpose is to be able to allow someone to make some improvements and not have that assessed value be at full or increase until, of course, the easement is up. So it goes for a period of 10 years, and then both the town and the owner have the ability to renew if it was necessary or desired at that time.
Does he have an estimated cost figure for repairs?
He does, and it's quite high. I don't know if he would be able to do all of that. $300 per year over 10 years is not going to get him to the estimated cost. Let me just.
100 years maybe, but
100 years?
Right. I was going to say his estimate is right around 36,000, I believe.
What's it need? New sills?
The attached barn is starting to bow out. So if you were to look at it, you could see it kind of round around. the side. It could use some structural support on the bottom. Having been out there, the beams could be, they could certainly use some work there. The barn in the back has some missing siding. It has some broken windows. That one I think could use a little bit more, but it seems to be from his application. There's a small river that goes beyond that, and I think he's concerned that there's a risk of it falling into the river at this point in time.
And the big barn is 191 years old?
The big barn is
Is that
quite
what he's
old.
saying?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what he
it-
said, yeah. Could be.
It was built with the house. We have the year on the house being 1830. So I'm not sure 191, but
Yeah, close.
And in order to qualify, it has to be like greater than 75 years old.
You know, we've lost a lot of barns.
Well, we're also benefited with Alex Ray, who tends to find
Yeah,
barns.
$3 million.
I also noticed too that I guess Greyton, J.R. Greyton has done the work on the barn stabilization, and he's the company that also came up with a total price of $36,000 for. Now, obviously, Greyton does great work because he did the Millennium Bridge. So,
He's doing the church in Wentworth.
oh yeah,
That's a major job
Huh.
up on Wentworth Common.
yeah.
And he did that covered bridge in Wentworth. Is this 3G construction?
No.
Or is it Arnold or?
J.R. Greyton. It's the
Stan Greyton is 3G construction.
Stan.
Yeah.
Stan, is that the son?
Stan.
It's not Stan? Is it Stan?
It's not Stan.
Arnold Greyton.
Arnold?
JR, Historic
Arnold-
Restoration.
Arnold, yeah, that's his cousin.
That was the son.
Well, oh,
The
no,
fa-
Arnold,
the father
Arnold's
died.
older than Stan. Let's see, Arnold was Milton's son, and Stan is Milton's nephew.
So we're all in the business.
Milton's
But-
gone, Stan's father's gone. The second generation.
So,
So it's Arnold. Yeah.
any public comment?
Oh, here we go.
Okay.
Expert.
Frank Miller, and I stand in support of granting this. It's a very nominal figure, and we do need to facilitate maintaining and restoring our historic structures. And our return on investment is up to 10 years. Sounds like we can get the money back as for the taxpayers, but the value of having a structure restored, I believe, is in the best interest of the people of the town of Plymouth, and I support that event. Thank you.
Thank you, Frank. Any other public members that are on the call or?
Nope, just Steve and Tom.
We do have an audience full of other Plymouth residents, but I
I've
guess,
been in that barn and it's a nice
Yeah.
barn.
Yeah,
yeah, was it Mavis? What was the woman that,
Yeah.
yeah, it was
David.
She
Maven?
she went
Moved up
as far as she could with it.
Yeah. And she moved up to Portland or something like that.
Right.
Anyway, it is now 6:24. I'm bringing it back to the board. Close the public hearing.
You want a motion?
Well, not quite yet, because
Yeah.
any discussion, or
Well,
I
you
guess,
have a motion, you can discuss
sure,
it.
sure, let's have a motion.
Okay, I move that we give them a 50% reduction on the big barn.
Okay, there's a motion. Emily, can you quickly figure out how much that is?
sure.
So 50%?
If 75% is 300 a year, then 50% is 200.
Well, 75% of both barns.
So we're doing the
It's
one, the,
$300 a year. So the big barn is the attached barn, and that's the one on the front side of the house that you can clearly see from Highland Street. There's a separate separated barn in the back section.
all right, so Neil's motion was 50% of the big barn.
I'll change it to 75.
For both?
Both or just the
Oh.
big barn?
Okay, 75% of the big barn then.
That's my motion.
Yeah.
You can make another motion after that.
We could make all sorts of motions. I'd say 37.25%. That's my next motion.
So 75% of the barn that's attached would reduce his taxes by $111.11 currently. So anytime the tax rate changes, that would obviously have an impact. But it would reduce his assessed value by $3,900.
Did you say 111.11?
Yes.
Awfully precise.
All right, is there a second?
Sure, I'll second it.
Okay, any discussion? Well, I was going to say that, in addition to some of the work that's still outstanding, there's a couple of trees that also need to be taken down.
Yeah.
And there's also, those trees actually reside in River Ridge. And apparently that, I haven't heard that they're actually in agreement with that yet. So, I mean, there's some stuff that's probably still kind of outstanding that may need to be resolved before we actually kind of go forward with it. And that's the only discussion that I have, but there's a motion, there's a second. Any other further discussion?
Why not the white barn?
It's an old chicken barn.
I just felt that the most important barn was the big barn,
It's the one that people could see.
Yeah, 17,000.
and the other barn is minor. That's minor maintenance, really. The big barn really needs the help.
Any other discussion? Actually, the back barn is the only barn that's going to be affected by the trees falling anyway, if they do fall. All right, so in that case, all those in favor say aye.
I
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Thank you, Emily.
You're welcome.
Does that sound acceptable, Frank? We got the thumbs up.
Thank you, public. All right. Scott Whedon, Emergency Management Director update.
Yes, sir. Just a couple of quick things. We continue to work on the hazard mitigation plan update. This week, we have a meeting on Wednesday. We'll be discussing the mitigation action plan, prioritizing the mitigation projects, which we've added quite a few over the past couple meetings, and looking at the problem statements and making sure we're addressing things that have been identified. So like I said, a meeting on Wednesday, then we should be coming back in August with the final plan for approval, which would then close out our, Homeland Security grant that we received to update the hazard mitigation plan. On the COVID side, I'm sure everybody's aware that there are no longer any state of emergencies executive orders that are in place. The governor has moved to bi-weekly meetings now with regards to providing updates, as well as DHHS on their vaccine call that we were having every week has moved to bi-weekly. And then with regards to what we've done within the town of opening up the town offices and developing the policy for staff and employees and visitors into the town hall, we did make an update to the COVID-19 illness policy. And I believe you have that in front of you. And the changes on that were on number 7 with regards to the policy. We took out a couple different pieces. We took out meetings should be held using computer conferences or over the phone, even amongst individuals situated in the building. And then we took out face-to-face meetings should only occur when absolutely necessary. Cloth face coverings must be worn for all face-to-face meetings. Those were 2 pieces that were removed from number 7. We removed a total piece with regards to requiring for employees to wear face masks, and we included a number 8 that states as of June 15th, 2021, employees who provide documentation that they are fully vaccinated for COVID-19 will not have to wear a mask any longer in their departments. Employees who have not been vaccinated or do not provide the proof of vaccine are required to continue to wear their mask until further notice. And the only other update to that is we did update the flyer that comes from DHHS, which was the new guidance brochure showing face coverings versus no face coverings required. And that was an update from DHHS on June 2nd, 2020. So we would ask that you approve the updated policy as we move into reopening the town office tomorrow and more in-person meetings.
Okay. Is there a motion?
Make a motion to approve.
Ted made the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Zach seconds. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any discussion? Seeing none. All right. Any opposed, nay? Ayes have it.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for staying on top of all that, Scott.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Scott.
Team effort, believe me.
Yeah. Teamwork makes the dream work. Now we have purchase orders. This one, Steel Fave, Tritech Software System, $16,236 for IMC software license.
Correct, Mr. Chair. This is the our software licensing. I have you guys sign every single year, and it is to go on not this year's budget, but next year's budget. So in a couple of weeks, just like in every year, I like to get the approval right off the bat so we can pay the bill right off the bat, because they normally look for the money immediately because the bill's already come to us. So again, this is our police reporting and dispatching software. If anybody has any questions about that, I'd be happy to answer that.
Any change to the expected pricing?
It goes up sometimes. It's not consistent with the increases, but it has gone up as much as like 3% in the past. I don't know the exact, if there was an exact increase this time around, because I don't have that paperwork in front of me. But the most I've ever seen it go up is 3%.
Okay, is there a motion?
Make a motion to approve.
All right, Ted moves. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Mary Ann seconds. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Next
Thank
week.
you.
Thank you. We're going to take the time to sign this.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
This way. So I'm used to not having them.
No, same.
You have one of those things with a chain and just stick it down that end of the table.
Mhm.
And on it.
I was thinking.
Got the great ideas. Okay, Joe, why are you here?
He's not here.
Uh-oh.
Sir.
So those two are going to be,
Can I ask a question about the police contract?
He's still there.
Is that an open-ended contract?
Did he go to-
Is that an open-ended contract or?
Oh, you want to ask Steve a question?
Oh, yeah, is that an open-ended contract?
The software licensing?
Yeah.
What do you mean by an open-ended contract?
Well, do you have a specific time period that that you have service with this company?
Yeah, it's yearly, it's annually.
So you renew it every year?
Correct. Yep.
Okay.
And you don't get a choice of who you get to renew it with.
Yeah, there aren't any other bidders, right?
Up the cost.
Well, yeah, unfortunately, police, software and reporting systems are few and far between. This is probably, TriTech is probably the biggest in the state and the one that everybody uses. And if we were to switch, it would not only affect us, it would affect several towns that we dispatch for too. And it would cost a lot of money to have to change over.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Steve. Next, Tom Morrison with a Stryker Medical PO for $29,681.50.
Good evening, everyone. This is a power load system for our new ambulance. It's compatible with the Stryker stretcher that we purchased last year. And this was in our capital budget, which was approved at the March town meeting. And we're in the same position. This is for fiscal year 22. So we wanted to get this in so that we can get it on order in July. The Stryker is one of our preferred vendors. They actually held the price from a quote that was almost a year ago, which is unusual. That's not the case with some of our other purchases that we have coming up, but they did agree to hold that quote.
Good. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
All right, Ted moves. Is there a second?
Second.
Zach seconds. Any discussion?
Is this a lift system?
It is. It's a power load system. So and I should have said that, I apologize. It assists in loading and unloading the patients safely.
And safely for your staff too, right? So it saves us
Right.
people getting hurt.
Patients, exactly. Patients and staff.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed, nay. Let's have it.
Focus.
Tom, as that's moving along, do you want to talk about Flex Financial, $18,974.60 defibrillator kit PO?
Yes. So for those of you that were here last year, you might recall we had a defibrillator that was in failure, and Stryker agreed to provide us a replacement for a down payment at that time of $5,000, with the remainder being due in fiscal year 22. So that's also due July 1. So this was in effect a lease purchase. We've had that unit since last fall. And that remainder, the balance of that, again, was in our capital budget approved at town meeting, and that's due on or about July 1.
Okay. Is there a motion?
Make a motion, we approve this purchase order.
Mary Ann moves. Is there a second? Okay, Neil seconds. Any discussion?
What's the life expectancy?
About 10 years, Neil.
We're 4 years into it now?
No, this was just purchased last fall.
Oh, and we're making the last payment.
Right. Yeah, typically they're in the capital improvement. This was an unexpected failure. That one was probably 12 years old. But typically they're in the capital improvement plan to be replaced, more timely.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Ayes have it.
Thank you all.
Thanks, Tommy.
I can speak to Joe's for the Boulder Point. For the paving.
Okay.
He did put it out for bid. I can't tell you how many he had a bid opening. I don't know how many bids he got, but I know that R&D paving was the low bidder. So Joe is seeking acceptance of R&D paving's bid and asking to approve a purchase order for $55,200 to cover the paving
Okay.
and some of the work that needs to be done on the shoulder.
So we've used R&D paving before at the town?
Yes.
Are they gonna put down the appropriate thickness?
We'll make sure that
That's,
they do.
that's a dicey question.
Yeah.
Thank you, Zach.
Who's going to validate that before we pay them?
We'll mandate as you pave core samples.
Okay, perfect.
Okay. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Ted moves, Zach seconds. Any discussion? Sure, Kathy's prepared to answer any question you might have.
Yeah. And what kind of asphalt are we using?
Yeah, what kind?
Do we know what the timing is on
I don't.
Are they doing more than one layer of asphalt?
I don't have the answers to those questions.
I was kidding about that.
I
But
can tell you the road is starting to really.
Yeah, it needs work.
Should have seen if Midstate would kick in on it.
Well, that's what I was wondering.
what was that, Zach? I didn't quite hear that.
Wondered if anybody approached Midstate about kicking in on it.
It's probably a good question.
Or the dentist office. Let's recommend that.
At least the dentist pays taxes.
Right. True.
That's right. Excuse me. I almost stifled a laugh there, but so any further discussion?
Yeah, when you pave a road, you put binder down and then you put top coat over it to preserve the binder. And that's why I was asking what they were gonna do. Are they just gonna do binder or are they gonna put a finished pavement over the top?
It says,
It's not clear to me.
1.5 inches compacted and then a 1/2 inch.
An HDOT.
So I'm assuming that that's what speaks to what you're talking about.
Okay. I couldn't find it in my,
Tack coat. I don't know. Oh, I don't know the terminology. So
Shall we table it because I'm sure he doesn't want to wait 2 weeks to.
I just wanted to know, that's all.
Do you want to make a condition?
Yeah, make it conditional.
That's the condition.
That they put tack coat or what do you want on top or what should be done?
Finish coat.
A binder with finished paving over top.
Yeah.
Is that routinely done in all the, okay.
It makes it hold up a lot better.
You want to make that as part of your motion? Did you move that or Ted moved? Who moved it? But
I thought,
Ted did.
Ken moved it.
would you accept an amendment to?
yeah,
Okay. So you want to check with Joe tomorrow to make sure that that's and they just like send a email out or something like that.
So tack coat is a thin, I don't know if I'm liquid asphalt emulsion layer that is applied between the pavement lifts to promote bonding. So it sounds like there is certainly 2 layers with the tack coat that goes between them.
All right, just to, now I don't mean to extend it, but so you got a 1.5 inch compacted and a 1/2 inch New Hampshire DOT. And then the next line down is like Rhines -6 tack coat. So is that what you're getting? Is that what you're getting at, or?
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably not written out so we can understand it correctly, but.
Right, it's written so Joe can understand it,
Yeah.
not so we can
Yes.
understand it.
And he's not here.
So you just want to confirm that that's the case,
Yeah.
and Joe will get back tomorrow, and Kathy will send an email out if approved. So,
Okay.
so, yeah, Ted moved, was there a second? Or did you second it?
Zach second.
I might have seconded.
Okay.
He
If I
seconded.
didn't, I will now.
Okay,
Okay.
Zach seconds. Any further discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Nice have it. So I'll just, no, we'll not sign this, put it in a box.
The
and-
signature file, yeah. Okay.
All right, what about the other one? The Beauregard?
The other one, I mean, it's under 5,000, so I can sign it.
Oh, okay.
It's for his backhoe, hydraulic tank for his backhoe, so it's just probably a repair.
So this backhoe is 2006.
16.
It's 2006.
6.
Oh, on his purchase order?
Um,
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
And so I'm
Sorry.
going to ask the question, is like, it's fairly old. Is this throwing good money after bad?
Well, I suppose he can't pay the money to replace it, so he needs to repair it until he can.
This doesn't look like a repair, this looks like an add-on.
no, hydraulic tank. It's just, I think that's a replacement, isn't it? And then just hoses.
There's no labor here, so I don't think it's replacement. It looks like a new thing.
Maybe the guys do their own labor.
You mean like, Joe and his
If
staff?
it's easy enough.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's probably the case.
This is a 2006 backhoe.
Yeah. Sorry, it says 16 on this right here.
Yeah, you're right. It says 16 on one sheet and 6 on the other.
I would go with what Joe has.
Yes, I would too.
A new backhoe probably costs at least 130,000.
My point here is that there's kind of a lack of information. Why are we doing this?
Yeah.
All the tanks failed.
In reality, we wouldn't have even seen it.
No, because Kathy can sign it.
Right.
Okay.
So should we just like,
Let it be.
Kathy, I would advise you interrogate him for more detail about the purchase order before you sign it.
Must be the tank is failing. Vibration probably. That's my guess.
okay.
$2,900 tank. But
I assume this is within his normal budget.
Yep. Yes.
All right, so
listen, it's a case.
my thing ends there, but there are 2 other POs.
Those are carryovers. They've been approved for this budget that we're in, but they haven't been spent yet. Well, these are part of the bond, actually. The roof replacement and the parking meters were approved at March meeting. Oh, Steve's here.
They're on my agenda, the updated one that we got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're on.
Where?
You're looking at an
Now
old,
you're missing.
an old one.
They're under carryovers.
The one that has the blue note on it is the one.
You got one with a sticky? Yeah, you get it. It's right there. It's right there.
Oh, what the heck? I quit.
Yeah, I have more pavement questions.
Oh, you do you?
That's funny.
Do they need flaggers? Yes.
All right, so Steve, you want to describe the roof? The roof replacement and the parking meter replacement.
Yeah, absolutely. So the roof replacement, my original thought was, to put a pitched roof on top of the PD with metal, so we could get metal roofing to get the snow to slide off in the wintertime. However, after doing a little research and stuff, I don't think it structurally can handle that add-on to it. So we wound up just getting the roof resealed. We're in the process of doing that right now. And obviously that was a fraction of the cost and what I asked for the money. However, we do have, other upgrades that could be done at the police department. So I was wondering if I can encumber this money and then come back to you guys with, during the new budget with some suggestions for additional upgrades at the PED.
Okay.
Does that roof have to be shoveled in the winter to get weight off?
Sometimes it does, yes. And what I've been doing is, if anybody knows anything about shoveling roofs off, contractors charge about $1 a square foot, and we have about 11,000 square feet up there. So, but what I've done, usually for a few $100s worth of overtime, I get a bunch of the patrolmen up there and we shovel it off together.
That's cool.
Good camaraderie.
That can be hard on the roof, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It can be. I mean, the roof, I think the way it is, the flat structure can take quite a bit of weight. But what it is, when you start to put the pitch on it, it is pushing the weight outwards on the walls rather than straight down. And I was told that the structure can't handle that kind of pressure in that direction.
Can't you do the old-fashioned cable thing and?
Yeah.
Just tie it together.
The tie thing out there. It's
Like the old man.
I'll bring up a real oldie. Do we have any even sort of long-term planning about around an emergency municipal building?
We did in the past, but now we're not. Steve, you're relatively happy, at least with the building that you currently have, the location of it, and you've done improvements to it to pretty much solidify the fact that we really don't need a building at this point.
Yeah, I mean, relatively happy, I guess, is the term we'll use. Yes. But it's kind of like the town hall, if you will. People look at it from the outside like, wow, that's really nice and it looks nice, but we all know inside, not in the PD, but in the town hall, at least, you can't get the temperature correct in there. And things are going wrong on the inside. The PD, for the near future, we are totally fine in there. And the main concerns that I have had with it was temperature control, and we've gotten the whole place insulated, and there are mini split systems in every office. So the temperature in the PD in the summer and the winter is very comfortable now.
And I see Tom Morrison still on there, unfortunately, because he's probably squirming about the fact that he's in a 1960 built building that only had like a 10-year lifespan. So
It was built as a temporary in 1969.
yep. Okay. 69. Hey,
Isn't it?
Yeah, I think,
Historical register.
you want a rebate on your taxes, or?
certainly buying that home next door was a plus and gave us some time, but like Chief Lefebvre, I don't think that's not the long-term solution. And we've tried to put money in capital every year so that we can do something down the road. And as we know, it often, that's the first place that we cut is the capital improvements money.
Yeah, that's why I was bringing it up, because I wondered if this was an opportunity not to just put this away for maintenance of that building, but instead to save for a longer term future and say, well, we have an opportunity right now to take $50,000 and put it towards a future building. But if that's further off than you all think, then maybe that doesn't make sense.
Definitely. And the money I would use it for the upgrades, just some things like, we need a new surveillance system at the PED. We also need the parking lot. Got repaved, 5-6 years ago or so. It needs to be resealed. So those are ideas that we could use the money for. And I do have a list of those ideas at the PD and stuff. But those are like the two bigger ones.
Okay. All right, we haven't gotten as far as a motion yet, right?
No.
Can someone make a motion?
So $49,700 is for sealing the roof?
No.
Is that what it costs?
No, that's what I want to encumber. No,
So you have
that's-
some other
that's what I just want to
projects?
encumber. That's what's left.
How much will it cost to seal the roof? Do you
It's
have an
already done.
estimate?
I think, yeah, I've already done that. I think it was about $10,000.
So that would leave you
No,
39?
That's already done, right, Chief?
It's, I would say, 3/4 of the way done. Because of the rain, they had to stop.
Right, but we already signed the purchase order and encumbered the funds for the roof reseal.
And that'll come out of this?
No.
No.
No,
what's
this
left
is
over.
additional.
So he wants to
Oh,
No,
save-
that's what's left over out of the bond money.
It's carryover.
Yeah, and yes, you have signed that purchase order already to seal the roof.
Okay, so is there a motion?
So we're looking for a motion to put this in the piggy bank.
Yeah.
Is that a good summary?
Piggy bank, because it's bond money, so it's not like we were putting it in the piggy bank. We just haven't borrowed it yet from the bank. If that makes sense.
It's bond money that was approved for this budget, but he didn't spend all of it, so he's asking to carry over what's left
For other projects?
for other projects for the
And those
building.
other projects would have to come by us.
Correct.
Okay. I'll make a motion to approve the holdover of the $49,000 and $49,700 for future projects.
Second.
Okay, Ted moves, Neil seconds. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 All opposed, nay. Ayes have it. All right. And police parking meter replacement, monies to carry over, 168,424.
That's correct. This is kind of two-part. One, where you haven't made any real final decisions yet on some of the parking issues in how we're going to spend that money. The other thing too is dragging my feet a little bit for when they're going to redo Main Street. It wouldn't make sense to put new meters or anything like that in if they're going to dig that whole area up and cause a little bit of a mess there. So I'm kind of waiting for that to happen as well. So I'm asking to carry over. I haven't really spent any money out of that part of the bond at all. So I'm asking to carry the whole amount back over again, and we can revisit exactly what we're going to do with that money for parking in this new budget coming up.
Okay, just want to maintain a placeholder, I guess, so. The motion,
So moved.
Zach moves, is there a second?
Second.
Neil seconds, any further discussion? Any discussion, rather? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 All opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Thanks, Steve.
Thank you.
Okay. We don't have Scott Whedon again.
Well,
You already
already
talked
did
about
this.
this.
Oh, I know,
Yeah.
yeah.
He covered
See,
it.
I'm looking at my new one now.
Can I give a good news update?
Yeah.
Real quick. So back in January 2021, I received notification from the New Hampshire Municipal Bond Bank about they were offering like low interest rates. So I spoke with Carol Garrity about the possibility of refinancing the $1.8 million 20-year library loan from Meredith Village, and it was approved originally at a 3.99% interest rate at the 2010 town meeting. And also about, I asked about the $2 million 10-year bond financed with Woodsville Guarantee Savings Bank, which was approved at a 2.37 interest rate at 2016 town meeting. At our 2020 town meeting, we were also approved for the $2.5 million 10-year bond with Meredith Village at a rate of 1.75. So Ann Abear, Carol Garrity, and myself, we met with Brian Chalmers from Meredith Village Savings Bank and brought up, the bond, what the bond bank was saying that they would offer for interest rates, and he agreed to lower the library's 3.99% down to the 1.75, which is what we got the most recent bond for. The most recent one we got for 1.75 interest rate. So he agreed to lower the library note to that interest rate, which saves the town 2.24% in interest charges, which with 10 years remaining on a 20-year loan, the payment on interest went from $136,971 principal, $41,600 interest, down to $136,971 principal and $18,260 in interest, which is close to $25,000 that we're going to save for each year over the next 10 years, which is equal to one full payment of what we pay. We pay like $250,000 a year towards the library's loan. And so that's like one full payment. So rather than being 10 years, it would drop it down to 9 years left. So we're doing good. Yeah. And I also asked about the interest rates on the money that we have in their bank. And she said it was like a 0.02% interest rate that we were getting on the money that we have in their bank. And so we met with Jill, Kathleen, and Elise of Meredith Village and spoke to them about that. And they agreed to raise the 0.02% to 0.2% on all of the town accounts that they hold. So we now have a call into Woodsville Guarantee to see if they might be willing to do anything with the interest on the $2 million bond. We're hoping they'll drop the 2.37 down to at least 1.75. But yeah, so we're saving about $25,000 a year.
Is this something that we do often, that we look to see if they'll change the interest rate?
We don't. It's just I happened to get an email from the bond bank, and I pulled the email out and I said, why don't we look at refinancing? I mean, if we can get our interest rates dropped down, then let's go for it. So
They can get the money at the lower rate
yeah.
from the Fed.
Mhm. Yeah. And they're very good about working with us. So
Why not?
yeah.
It's good for
Yeah,
business.
It is good for business.
Excellent.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought so.
You should put that on your monthly.
I am going to. Yep. That's my June report.
Hey, we saved you money.
That's right. That's right.
Do we have committee reports?
Any committees?
I haven't
I
done
did
it.
for my planning board notes.
You have any?
Yes,
Right now? You want a
we're done,
dispensation?
right?
I was unable to, I was out of town, so I couldn't attend the school board meeting, but I did hear that they asked, the name just escaped me, the guy who's the facilities, about the ravine and the
Yeah.
erosion.
Right.
And that he said they had no concern or any intention to do anything else with it at this time,
Wow.
Okay.
which doesn't necessarily align with my opinions, but again, I wasn't there to challenge that.
Yeah.
I didn't know if there was,
Oh,
is there anybody on our end
Faster.
who should look into that or should,
Yeah.
erosion control, does that fall under,
I think I'd try to get that in writing from him.
it probably is in the minutes from him.
Yeah, I'd get
Sure.
those minutes. Boy,
It's.
But I knew that that was a point of concern for the board and I just wasn't there to actually participate in the conversation.
they have so much sheet runoff coming off those buildings and parking lots.
Yeah.
And that's all highly erosive sand material. Now, you can see it. It's getting ready to go.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
one
the
thing,
one-
if we could fill it in with rocks.
Oh, it's like,
kind of
They
past.
they have to like terrace it and,
They need
Really
to
needs to be
divert
terraced.
flow.
Yeah.
yeah, that's a public safety issue.
Again, I don't know who to further raise that to.
Yeah.
Have to be at the school board meeting,
Well,
I mean, that is school board, but it,
budget process. I mean, when their budget process starts, well, you
Morrison.
gotta, raise it, get on the agenda with them.
it was on the agenda. I just wasn't at the meeting when it was raised.
Yeah, it's probably like a multi-million-dollar fix.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
so
there are small things they could do to avert some of
Yeah.
it.
they've been trying small things though, you know. It's like
No,
dumping
I
stuff.
don't see any small things that have significantly been done there. All, you know,
No,
they
they've
might
just
have
been
dumped
dumping
some.
fill.
Yeah, that's not
Dumping a
a
lot of
fix.
They should call
Which is all just
somebody
ending
who's
up in the river.
qualified to, you know, give
Review
them an assessment, of, you know, where to start. First thing you do is start controlling your flow.
Well, if the first thing you do is deny that there's a problem, then you don't have to worry
Yeah.
about the fix. So,
Run for school board.
It's got enough to
Got
do.
enough.
You run for school.
You could though, Neil.
That's all I need.
who on the school board should, which school board? SAU?
That was elementary, yeah.
Yeah, it's at the elementary.
That's a town.
Yeah, is it SAU then? Who owns, if we go to the SAU?
Kyla.
Kyla? Yeah,
I mean, or we could, raise the concern with Phil Lemerow, who's on planning board and thinks about erosion control. I don't know if he's actually seen the area that we're talking about.
Conservation Commission.
Where does all that
Because
go?
it's all going into the river.
Yeah.
yeah.
Anyway, there seems to be a lot of people who are aware, but also are like, not my problem.
Well, I know Lisa Donor, I mean, she was.
Certainly was the one who drew our attention to it, yeah.
Well, you've already got a massive gully that's collapsing.
And once it gets to a certain point,
The whole side of the hill's gonna go down.
it goes quickly once it gets to a critical point.
Yeah, it's gonna be-
Exactly.
It's gonna be a big V up to that, probably the storage thing, storage building down below the greenhouse. It's gonna,
Well, it probably won't go that far.
I don't think so. It's not
No,
that
I
far
think
back.
the problem is the fields themselves. They don't shed they're all shedding the water in that direction. And once it gets to where I think the natural, most of that's probably built up where the fields are so that you can have a flat area. I don't think that was originally quite that flat.
Free from all
So when you
of
hit that natural spot, I think you would be in a situation where now you wouldn't have a huge amount of erosion.
Yeah.
You've lost the entire field.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know as it would be the entire field, but rather maybe just that kind of corner where the goal is.
Yeah, but once you get to where it's eroded that much, you've got a giant
A
gully,
giant
and
problem.
Anything that's going to continue to happen is just going to make it worse.
It'd be nice to have somebody admit to a problem on the school board and then look to review and see who can actually, Tom, are you listening in on this stuff, or is, you're aware of the gully that's out behind not lacrosse field, the
Soccer field.
soccer field?
Yeah, I'm aware of it. It's been an issue for a long, long time.
Yeah. And it's, it's definitely improving in a way that's bad. Like more and more material is disappearing.
I think it could be a public safety issue.
Yeah, I think so too.
Well, that ravine is pretty. What age are the people that are over there?
Kids get over there and fall in,
Yeah,
Yeah.
five.
I like the idea of the Conservation Commission weighing in too on that. I think that's some of their expertise.
Yeah, And also, Lisa's the chair of that Conservation Commission, and also she's in charge of the Baker River, watershed. So
I'll
she's
follow up with Lisa.
okay. Yeah, she has many concerns, as should the town.
Yes.
So after tomorrow, all our meetings are going to be here.
Thanks, Tom. Yep. Planning board and everything.
We're limiting the people that can be in the audience right now, though. Like we're
I
looking
was
at.
going to ask where we came up with the 10 members that's on the guidance.
I think the distance of, I think Scott was saying still 6 feet separation. How many people can we fit in here comfortably?
Are we required to maintain the 6 feet still?
I don't know that we're required. And
I'm just thinking in terms of planning board in particular, 10 is going to be
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, well, those are things that we need to work out.
I think we have 5 alternates and they're counting those
Right.
as public.
Well, so June and I did have a discussion on that earlier today, and if, like those 5 alternates, if you have a full planning board and you don't need the alternates can still zoom in and watch the meeting. They won't be
Of course,
participating.
as an alternate, I won't discover that till I get here.
Right.
There's too many people in the room.
I think she's gonna try to get a confirmation from people as to who's going to be present at the meeting. And then talking about like possibly alternating, like if you have a couple of plans for that night and you have people here for both plans, like taking the one group for the first one and then alternating, having the second group come in when they discuss the second plan. It's just trying to work everything out.
Okay.
Right now, we are still looking at 6 feet of social distancing. We're still trying to keep people, separated for the time being. So I have 2 more things.
Oh my God.
Well, one of them,
If
Yeah, I do. Sorry, Kath, no offense.
what, you're gonna leave?
I do.
Okay, before you go. Union negotiations have to start again because, we've been asked to have the budget, the people working on their budgets right now. So we need to know, as far as union negotiations go, what they should be budgeting for. And I don't know if you want to pick 2 reps before Marion leaves.
No, that would be a good time for Marion to leave.
Okay. well,
Mary Ann,
Yeah.
you-
go ahead, leave. I will-
Yeah. And now we don't trust any of you. I'll stay for this.
Who has an interest or expertise or desire to be on union negotiations?
I don't have any expertise.
I have no expertise, but I would
I'd be willing to.
I think I'd like Zach to be on the negotiation team.
With you,
I'd like to be on it as
Okay.
well. I mean, I have some history, so.
Bill started the negotiations, but they tabled it for a while.
settled
So,
it for a year, right?
yes.
Good evening. Good evening.
Thank you, Mary Ann.
And Mary Ann could,
Yeah, you know, twice.
I can be an alternate if you want.
So, and the other thing, either we go into non-public real quick, or we just talk about what we discussed the other day. As far as moving forward, when
it's.
just move forward with what the board agreed to. We,
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, in terms
man,
of,
if we were to
I-
talk about that in non-public, I'd probably be very irritated.
We're all very irritated, but
Yeah. I don't think we need to go into non-public. I don't know. Do we, or?
say, do we continue
You'll
with what the board?
want context,
Oh, yeah.
you probably would like it.
We had we had an attorney.
I wasn't here, but I know what it was about.
Yeah.
Are you aware of the outcome?
No,
All right, so maybe we should go into
So,
that.
so enter into non-public in accordance with RSA 91A3, comma 2. And I believe it would be L for legal correspondence.
So moved.
Okay, Zach moves. Is there a second? Ted seconds. Neil, your vote.
Well, I don't know. Oh, yes.
Bill, aye. Aye. Zach.
Aye.
Ted. Okay. We're non-public. Okay. Neil, your vote.
Aye.
Bill, aye.
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 Ted. Zach.
I got a question.
Oh, we need another motion. Oh, are you still?
What is the planning board, this is unrelated to that. What's the planning board doing about the purchase of the furniture building out on Route 25 by Midstate?
I could read you some
They approved
correspondence
that?
from,
Have they approved it, or are they
Sure.
challenging it?
June had a, the little discussion.
so
on that.
the zoning board approved it.
Has to go back to planning, doesn't it?
Correct, but and yes, the planning board has approved their plans. But from a planning board perspective, there's no real grounds to not approve it, right?
They have adequate parking and all that.
According to their plan.
Yeah.
According to their plan and their intended use, they have adequate parking. Personally, and Patrice Scott wrote me a very nice letter over the past week because last meeting I made kind of a public statement that I thought that the zoning board should have denied the variance on the zoning ordinance to not allow it to even get to the planning board level. That was my opinion. I obviously
I would have agreed.
I'm not a lawyer, and when you get into the zoning board, you're really in the law portion of this. And so she wrote me a very long bit of correspondence explaining exactly why the zoning board made the decision they made. Again, I can't attest to the legality of that, but I was left still feeling like, yeah, but.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a lawyer. Judge Kent's a judge. So there's probably some like legal.
Yes, they
there.
felt uncomfortable. They felt like if they had denied it, then that definitely would have led to a lawsuit, and they were not interested in a lawsuit that they weren't sure they could win. Is how I would interpret a very long, a very detailed, very thoughtful response that she sent me based off a offhanded comment I made last time.
I think Midstate's going to buy up some more commercial real estate.
Well, wouldn't
probably-
they have to get their use of it approved as a legitimate tax exempt entity?
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
just
they'll
because
apply.
they're a tax exempt entity doesn't mean that their use of it would be approved as tax exempt.
Yeah, but I suspect that a daycare will end up getting approved as tax exempt.
That will definitely be tax exempt. Because,
Now, what they do at Community Guarantee, that's less certain.
yeah, hopefully it's going to be like physician's offices or something like that. Just, and hopefully we'll be able to tax the crap out of that one. But it's only going to be to offset the daycare.
Yeah, because it's unfortunate because the daycare costs us, takes $20,000 off the tax roll, and I don't know
It's a
what.
horrible place to have a daycare.
It is, it is.
Just about any place else would be better.
I do tend to agree, despite the fact that I understand that we need daycare space in the town, and I was a parent and fully endorse the idea of additional high-quality daycare facilities in the town. I wish they had instead opted to build another building
Back.
up in the Boulder Point mid-state, because that would have
Get them off the highway.
kept them off the highway. It would have, the traffic control would have been better there, and it wouldn't have taken a taxable business facility off the rolls.
But they'd already spent $1 million and they wanted to do something with it.
For sure.
Could have given it to us.
Yeah.
You don't want the town offices over there.
I think it's tit for tat.
Oh, no, I meant the $1 million.
Oh, the $1 million.
I'd take Community Guarantee Savings Bank, though.
Well, I was going to talk about the Riverdale.
That's worth
How
$2
about
million.
You have another
Well,
motion
you,
yet to
you
make.
don't have, we haven't moved to end. If you want to talk
we
about
haven't
it.
made a motion yet.
Unfortunately, I need an audience because this is going to be the 22nd where there's going to be like a river. If you want to grab a kayak, there's 2 places that are going to be giving kayaks to do a 6-mile, trip down the Pemmy.
What is this?
Yeah, unfortunately, I
Are
should
we
have.
going
You have to
over the
clean up.
falls?
Do you clean up
No.
while you're on your way down the Pemmy?
That's it. You come with a garbage bag.
You want this?
I'll give you a. Yeah,
Pass that to him.
yeah. For
You're
that.
going over Livermore Falls?
Actually, you can.
Yeah, with a
do
kayak.
this as well. I also
If
shared
there's
it
enough
on
water.
Facebook. Yeah, that's
If there's
the.
enough water.
Oh, did you didn't need to see this?
You're going in inner
Oh,
tube.
okay, I thought,
I'm the bill.
take this?
I'm the bill that's.
You're the bill.
Yeah, you're the bill on this. Cleanup of
And
that.
you can either take or look at that. It's kind of cool because it's similar to what we've done a couple of years ago too, where Ski Fanatics is just like throws kayaks at anybody who wants to participate. They'll hustle you up to their put-in spot, and you just like pick up trash on the way down. And they'll pull you out, and they'll have like a lunch and have a little celebration.
So this is all happening north of us, though.
Yeah, pull out in Campton.
Oh, okay, I know.
Yeah. So they're not putting in anywhere.
Just get out before you hit Livermore.
Exactly.
Yeah. And
Depends on your desire.
actually, the Friends of the Pemmy, I don't know if they're going to find it or not, but they're looking for money to like remove the rebar that's down below. That's where people get trapped. I always thought it was like the tumbling and just like the water forcing people down, below the falls. Well, there's a lot of rebar down there too.
It's ugly.
Yeah, and to think of that, okay, it's bad enough getting sucked down, and then you're being held down by a bunch of rebar.
Just gotta wait till there's a low water year. Oh, yeah, this year.
It was
I don't know if it's
pretty
going to
good
be
last
low
year.
water
too.
this year.
No.
Well, you never know. We're in a drought.
There's an old saying that ash before oak. Let's see, ash before oak, slop and no, it's ash before oak. We're talking about leafing out in the spring. Ash trees and oak trees alternate. Ash before oak. It's dust and smoke. This is a logger saying. So
Okay.
you're going to work in the woods, and if the ash tree leaves out before the oak tree, the woods is going to be dusty and smoky. And if the oak leaves out before the ash, it's slop and slash.
Okay.
Well, I watched the oak trees and the ash trees very closely, and the oak trees leafed out first this year.
So it could be a wet year, is what you're saying.
It's an old loggers thing.
Yeah,
I don't know
I was
if
just
I
looking
believe
it up on this. It's actually there's a book, Ash Before Oak. I'll have to read that. It's
Nice.
fiction. Whatever. I just had a thought and I forgot it. But anyway, we still need a motion to adjourn.
I'll make to adjourn.
Seconded.
Nay.
Okay, Ted moves. Did you second? Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Did you get all that?